What's going on, ladies and gents? Well, welcome back to the channel. Hope you are staying motivated and staying inspired with everything going on in the stock market right now. The yield curve had just inverted, but I'm not going to talk about that today. I'm going to be talking about one of the most common questions investors ask. What is the top performing stocks during a recession, or what is the best sectors that perform during a recession or a bear market? And as I discuss these things going through this video, I will also be pinpointing some of the top dividend stocks that perform well in those sectors as well, because I am a dividend investor myself. So if you are new to the channel and you like stock market news, dividend investing, and passive income, then you have came to the right place. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and the bell icon, and you won't miss another video. So as the question goes, what sectors perform well in a recession? And as you see the graph, we have the financial sector, the real estate, consumer discretionary, info technology, industrials, materials, consumer staples, the healthcare sector, energy sector, communication and services, and utilities. So as you see on the graph here, there are only 3 sectors that perform well during a recession, which would be consumer staples, the healthcare sector, and utilities, of course. And if you're wondering where I got this graph from, this is coming from the graph of seekingalpha.com, and I will also leave the link down in the description as always. That way, if you want to do a little bit of your own due diligence, you will be able to do so as well. So now we know what sectors perform the best during a recession, which there are only 3 that perform well. Now let's take a look at the top 50 strongest stocks. And these 50 stocks equally weighted a loss of 27% over the last bear market, which was 2007 and 2009, which was incredible because the stock market lost 56% during the last bear market, and these 50 strong stocks only lost 27%. So that's pretty incredible. And you see the graph here, as of the last bear market, the financial sector actually led the sectors on who performed the best. And then it goes down to the consumer staples, utilities, the energy sector, the consumer discretionary, the healthcare sector, industrials, technology, and then the real estate, of course. So based off of the last bear market, this is the graph on how the sectors perform. And the graph that we've seen before is typically the top 3 sectors that perform the best. Now we look at the top 50 worst stocks, and these stocks, they equally weighted a loss of 87%. That is terrible. That was 31% more than the stock market itself lost. So if you were holding these dividend stocks, you took a significant amount of hit on your profit. Also, the dividends did not make up for the loss that you took on your equity. So it's very important to do your due diligence when investing in any type of stock, whether it's a dividend stock or whether it's a growth stock, whatever it may be. You always want to do your due diligence, even if you're watching this type of video. That way you can limit the risk of loss. And if you're still with me, I have a treat at the end of the video. If you want to know the list of the top 50 dividend stocks, I will scroll through the top 50 stocks at the end of the video, showing you each stock that weighted the 27%. And I have a few examples for the main 3 sectors that perform well, which is consumer staples, the utility sector, and the healthcare sector. Now, these companies come off the entire list of the 50 best strong dividend stocks in the last bear market. As we move over to the consumer staples, you have Procter & Gamble as one of them, and Kimberly-Clark as the other one. And I'm sure you heard of both of these. If you haven't heard of the companies, I'm sure you use some of their products that you see in the picture here. And then on the top right side, I have the performance of 08 recession, which is technically 07 to 09. This is the performance recession, is how much percentage the stock lost during the entire time of the recession. Procter & Gamble was at negative 37.84%. Kimberly-Clark was at negative 38.01%. So they still lost almost about 40%, but it was still a significant amount lower than the overall market, which was at 56%. As we move over to the healthcare sector, we have Johnson & Johnson that we all know, which is one of the main stocks that's being talked about right now. And then we have Amgen. Now, Johnson & Johnson over the last recession, they were just under 30%, 29.66% that they decreased during the time of the recession, and then Amgen was even lower at 18.94%, so just under 19%. So that is pretty incredible to be able to withstand a very strong bear market. Then we move over to the last performing sector, which would be the utility sector. We have Southern Company, which I'm sure you all heard of, and then we have the WEC Energy Group. Now, both of these companies are pretty massive. The WEC Energy Group is a bigger company than Southern Company. Now, Southern, they performed a negative 27.88% during the last bear market, and WEC performed negative 20.96. So the utility sector did very well during the last bear market. All of these companies that I just showed you came off of the top 50 list of the strongest stocks that performed during the last bear market. So if you are curious and seeing what stocks are on that list, remember to stay tuned to the end of the video. That way you can see what stocks are on that list, and you may want to add some of those to your portfolio. So some key takeaways that I just kind of want to take a look at is focus on those companies with the best value and financial strength. So that is something I would highly recommend when investing in any company, specifically dividend companies. Don't just look at the dividend yield. Do your research on that value and the financial strength. The next key takeaway would be remove any unproven speculative stocks. And I say that because if you're trying to prepare for the next recession, you don't want to have any super small stocks in your portfolio. You don't want to have any super risky or any sketchy stocks per se in your portfolio if you want to be prepared for the worst to come. Now, I would say everyone's risk tolerance is completely different, but if you're one to limit the amount of loss that your portfolio takes, then you will want to remove any of those type of stocks. And then the last key takeaway, which I think is pretty common that we all know, is do your own research. Rather you're watching one of my videos, a person who has 1 million subscribers, I will always say do your own due diligence. That way you can always limit the risk of loss. And so that way you can make the best decision for yourself. But before I go ahead and show the top 50 list, if you are still with me, go ahead and smash that like button. You are super awesome. Let me know down in the comment section which sector is your favorite. Also, what sector do you have the most allocation in? I'm very curious to know what sector you believe the most in. But here is the top 50 list that performed very well during the last recession. And this is coming from seekingalpha.com. The entire list of the 50 best strong dividend stocks in the last bear market. By now, we're sure you're curious to know which stocks made the list of the top 50 stocks. Note that these are only the best performers among the small group of 269 stocks we selected. Not the entire market. Here's a list of stocks sorted by sector. UGI, WEC, which I did an example on, Southern, we have ES, CMS Energy, IBM, LTC Properties, which is a REIT, Johnson & Johnson, People's United Financial Bank, Northern Trust, Brookline Bancorp. So there's a lot of massive companies on this list, very strong dividend payers. They have that track record to really pay out that dividend. You have ADM, Colgate, Clorox, Kroger, Pepsi, Procter & Gamble, PetMed Express. So these companies are very massive here. So let me know down in the comment section what you thought of this video. If this video was valuable to you, please hit that like button and let me know in the comment section so I can keep making content like this for you all. This is Mike the Investor. Stay motivated, stay inspired. Good luck in the stock market, and I will see you guys back next time.